The UK's rising rich and poor gap is also fueled by immigration, with foreign workers willing to take jobs for lower wages. And that's led to calls for tightening EU immigration. RT's Tesa Arcilla investigates the trend.
With long-term unemployment in the UK hitting a 17-year high, long lines at job centres have become typical. And while many Britons are struggling to find a job, a recent report by two Finnish academics says that immigrants from Eastern Europe are 7% more likely to be employed. And this trend generally holds true in the agriculture business.
On this berry farm here in Kent, workers spend about 8 to 9 hours a day picking berries in the sun, in the heat. It is physical work. Now, under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Scheme of the UK, it's estimated that there are thousands of foreigners working on UK farms.
Robert Pascal, who runs this farm, says there are between 300 and 350 immigrant workers during the harvest season.
They're mostly coming from Eastern Europe. Bulgaria and Romania are probably in the majority. We need a supply of people who come in for the summer season, and that's not so popular amongst the English people because they want continuity. It's not considered to be a profession. At the same time, you've got a lot of keen, enthusiastic and bright Eastern Europeans that come for 6 months, and we see how bright they are. They enjoy doing what they're doing and wish to stay longer, and of course they're becoming more permanent.
Like Vali, a Romanian who's been working on this farm for 9 years.
Do you mind doing all this physical hard work?
No, I think I'm enjoying that. If I was not enjoying that, I was not here. I was just sitting in an office somewhere back in my country.
The report comes, on the one hand, amid the government's goal of decreasing net immigration to the tens of thousands and concerns that cheap migrant labor is decreasing local wages, and on the other hand, widely unpopular cuts to the UK's welfare system, which the Work and Pensions Secretary says is in order to restructure the culture, to discourage people from living off the dole and find work instead.
I think most British people I know are extremely hardworking and industrious. We've also got an element, it's true, I think we've got an element of people who don't want to work. I'm not quite sure how big that is. But then you've got another problem, which is the benefits trap. And that's what we should be concentrating on. How do we get our people back into work? How do we motivate the unmotivated? And you don't do that by bringing in waves and waves of cheap labour who are just going to undercut them.
By the end of the year, the EU's temporary work and travel restrictions on Bulgarians and Romanians will be lifted, giving them the same rights to work in the UK as other EU citizens. Farm owners fear this would lead to Bulgarians and Romanians leaving farm jobs for hotels and offices and are calling for more temporary workers from non-EU countries, while others fear this will bring in an influx of immigrants accessing not only jobs but welfare benefits as well. Tesa Arcilla, RT, Kent.